The Zex Thraxian Fleet Admiral, Cathor, watched with barely concealed disdain as the lone human vessel appeared on their scanners. Their intelligence had warned them about the humans, a newly spacefaring species that had somehow managed to unite their planet after centuries of internal warfare. But how much of a threat could they really pose? The Zex Thraxian Empire had conquered 17 star systems and had never lost a single battle. Primitive design, Cathor remarked, his secondary breathing tubes fluttering in amusement. Look at how they still rely on traditional propulsion systems. Prepare to send them our standard surrender demands. The human ship, designated HMS Thunderchild, hung in space like a dark arrow aimed at the heart of the Zex Thraxian fleet. Its hull bore the scars of previous battles, each mark a story of survival. Captain Sarah Chen stood on her bridge, her dark eyes reflecting the tactical display before her. Their broadcasting captain, her communications officer, reported, "Standard Imperio Zex Thraxian surrender demand, just as intelligence predicted." Chen's lips curved into a slight smile. "Send them our response. Come and take it." The Zex Thraxian Admiral's membrane-covered eyes widened as the human response came through. In 12,000 years of space warfare, no species had ever rejected their surrender demands. It was unprecedented. "Launch the first wave," Cathor ordered. "Let's show these primitives why we rule 17 systems." The space between the fleets erupted in a dazzling display of energy weapons and plasma torpedoes. The Zex Thraxian ships moved in their famous spiral of death formation, a tactic that had broken the will of countless civilizations. But the Thunderchild didn't break. Instead, it did something that violated every principle of space combat the Zex Thraxians had ever known. It charged straight into their formation. "Impossible," Cathor's tactical officer shrieked. "They're supposed to retreat from the spiral." "That's what everyone does." The human battleship's response was devastating. Hidden weapon ports opened along its hull, revealing arrays of railguns that launched projectiles at relativistic speeds. The kinetic energy weapons technology the Zex Thraxians had abandoned centuries ago as Primitive tore through their advanced shields as if they weren't there. "How?" Cathor demanded as 3 of his ships exploded. "They're weapons. They're just throwing metal." "Sir," his science officer interrupted, "I'm detecting unusual radiation signatures." "They're using their reactor." "As a weapon?" Captain Chen's voice came through their comms, transmitted on all frequencies. "You thought you knew war? You've been playing at it. Humans? We perfected it. We took every terrible lesson our history taught us and built this ship from them. Now let us teach you about human warfare." The Thunderchild's reactor core pulsed, sending out waves of carefully modulated radiation that crashed against the Zex Thraxian ship's shields. Where the waves touched, the exotic particles that powered their advanced technology began to break down. "They're using scientific principles we discarded millennia ago," the science officer realized with growing horror. "Their primitive technology. It's not primitive at all. It's purposeful." The human ship continued its charge, its hull absorbing devastating hits that would have vaporized any other vessel. But the Thunderchild had been built with centuries of human warfare in mind. Its armor wasn't just metal. It was layers of metamaterials designed to transform enemy fire into usable energy. Each hit only made it stronger. "This is impossible," Cathor whispered, as his flagship systems began to fail. "We are the Zex Thraxian Empire. We cannot be defeated by barbarians." "That's where you're wrong." Chen's voice came through again, calm and almost pitying. "You conquered 17 peaceful systems and thought that made you warriors. We spent thousands of years fighting ourselves. Every weapon you see here was born from human blood and human ingenuity. We didn't want to be good at war, we had to be." The Thunderchild's final assault was both beautiful and terrible. Electromagnetic pulses, synchronized with gravitational wave generators, created a cascade of destruction that rippled through the Zix-Thraxian fleet. Ships that had survived countless battles simply came apart, their advanced technology useless against weapons designed by a species that had never stopped thinking about new ways to fight. In the end, Cathor stood alone on his crippled flagship, watching as the human vessel approached. His empire had never lost a battle until today. They had never even considered the possibility. "We surrender," he transmitted, his proud voice breaking. "Surrender accepted," Chen replied. "And Admiral? Welcome to the galaxy's real military history class. Lesson 1. Never mistake technological advancement for military prowess. We'll be teaching the rest of the lessons to your empire over the coming weeks." As the Thunderchild's escort pods deployed to secure the Zix-Thraxian vessels, Cathor realized that the galaxy had changed forever. The humans hadn't just defeated them, they had rewritten everything the Empire thought they knew about warfare. And somewhere in the darkness of space, more human ships were coming. The species that had learned to fight before they learned to fly among the stars was about to teach the galaxy some very hard lessons about the true nature of war.